This week I'm driving the 2022 Mercedes-Benz EQS 580 for Matic. For 2022, Mercedes-Benz offer us a new lineup of full electric cars, the EQ models. Just like the full lineup we can find at Mercedes-Benz, like the Class S, E, C, etc. The EQ lineup is gonna practically work as the same. This one's an EQS, so it's a basically same size, same kind of a model as the Class S, but without being an actual Class S. Unfortunately, this week we're not able to open this hood. Only the dealership is allowed, so there's no cargo space or anything to really look at. But still, this EQS is equipped with two electric motors matched to a 107 kilowatt battery that's going to produce 516 horsepower and 631 foot-pounds of torque. So let's go on the road and test this EQS. All right, I'm going to test the acceleration. We've got the all-wheel drive system with the 4MATIC. We've got the big battery, some big numbers for the torque. I'm going to put it in sport. I'm going to test that. There you go. Pretty quick off the line. We can do the 0 to 100 kilometers in about 3.9 seconds and the quarter mile in 12.2. This is really quick. You know, this is AMG numbers, I could say. And this model is not even an AMG, so you could just imagine when the EQS is gonna have the AMG badge, how quick it's gonna be. So, you know, performance, it's not an issue for this big sedan. On the road with the Mercedes-Benz EQS, obviously this is a Class S-ish kind of like electric car. On the road, super comfortable, super relaxing. It's one of the most comfortable car I drove in my life. I really enjoyed driving this EQS. Obviously, we're on an air suspension. Also, those seats are super comfortable, super quiet inside. You know, everything you have to expect out of a Class S, but electrified, I could say. Driving this EQS, it's still a lot of fun. We've got a lot of power. When you push it down the curve, still you've got some good handling. Even if it's a super comfortable ride, when you push it down the curve, it grips. You've got plenty of power to get you out of that curve. And on top of that, you've got that rear axle steering to help you push down that curve and also help you in a parking lot. Design-wise, this EQS is not for everyone. From my point of view, I prefer the gasoline Class S. I think the Class S looks better than the EQS, but that's my point of view. Still, it's a good-looking car. I like those wheels. It matched pretty well this design, and this design is really aerodynamic. Actually, it's one of the cars with the lowest drag coefficient. So this is why this car's got that shape. Also, this car is an hatchback. It's not a real sedan, so you're gonna get a little bit more space inside of the trunk. Look-wise, you know, pretty original car. It depends on the angle you're really looking at this car. Sometimes it looks kind of funky, sometimes it looks kind of cool. It looks kind of like low to the ground, especially with those wheels. Some things are pretty unique also about this EQS. You've got a port on the side, and this is not a charging port. It's really to put your windshield washer. This is pretty unique for this car. Quick reminder, you're not able to open the hood though, so that's the only way you can put your windshield washer. You've got the regular door in the back to get your charging port to recharge your EQS. Otherwise, you know, it's a good looking, you know, AV from my point of view. Stepping inside of this EQS, first thing you notice is this really big screen. Actually, it's about 56 inches wide. It's actually 3 screen, but it makes like a big screen. You know, it really looks futuristic inside of this EQS. We've got a really nice match of colors inside of this EQS. We've got some all interior in white. We've got also some blue and some gold roses. Really nice stitching, nice material and all that. I like the shape of the dash with all the vents. The vents looks like some turbines and all that. We've got also some nice wood. It looks like it's been borrowed from a yacht or from a Rolls-Royce. I really like that. Obviously, those seats are super comfortable. You can put them in pretty much infinite position. You've got a nice little pedal for your head, really relaxing while driving your EQS. You've got you know, heated and cool and massaging seats and bunch of options you can play with for those seats. You can have fun for hours and hours playing with those seats. Right in the middle here, this is where you start and stop your EQS. You've got a bunch of buttons you can play with. You've got your volume. You can change your mode with the dynamic buttons. You can put your cameras. The little square here is really to identify your fingerprints, so you can pre-program some kind of like owner modes with your fingerprints right here. Also, you've got your hazard button. This is not the best place to put it because this week I really put the hazard on quite a few times while I was trying to reach for my phone, so maybe they should move that hazard button. If we step in the back, plenty of space. Obviously, this is like a Class S-ish car. Really comfortable back there. Plenty of space. It's not the executive chauffeur model, I could say, this week. So we don't have all the option, the funky stuff in the back with all the massaging seats and all that. But still, real comfortable. A lot of space there. If we take a look at the trunk, it's an hatchback. Plenty of space. It's close to have you know, the same cargo space as an SUV. I really like that. The only thing was not really practical about this trunk, it's really, you know, it's a white carpet trunk. Maybe not the best to carry a lot of stuff. Taking a look back at the screen, we got a really nice cluster in front of me, really clear, plain and simple. The screen in the middle works well. It's pretty simple too. It's really big, easy to use. Obviously, this is an AV, so they tried to remove all the buttons. I wish we could have like a real knob for the volume and maybe some buttons for the climate, but still, it was pretty decent and easy to use this week. And finally, we've got a screen in front of the passenger, and the passenger can control the GPS, the radio, a bunch of stuff. They can send navigation to the middle screen, and also they can you know, listen to their own music with some headphones and watch stuff also on that screen. This is really Jeep Grand Wagoneer stuff from my point of view, but it looks really good. Obviously, this EQS is packed with technology, with option. I can spend at least half an hour just playing with everything on the screen. There's so many things going on with that screen. You can play with your seats, with your hair. Speaking of the air, you've got a filtration system. This is what's going on under the hood in the front. That's why we're not able to open it. You can also send some fragrance, some perfume inside of your EQS. There's a bottle of fragrance inside of the glove box. Pretty cool, you know. If you're going on a date and you had some problem with the meal you've been eating earlier, you can send a little shot of perfume before your date get in the car. So that might be really practical for some people. Range-wise, you can do up to 547 kilometers with a full charge. And what's really cool also tech-wise, you've got another button here, the EQ button. With the EQ mode, you can say a lot of information about your range, your charge. You can also plan some trips with charging station and all that. How much kilowatt you're taking per 100 kilometers and all that. How much you know, range you got left. But one thing I really like about this EQ mode, you can maximize your range. It's gonna be able to limit some things you're using while you're driving, so the climate, the comfort, some function inside of this. So right now, you know, if I'm try to limit everything, you know, I'm kind of like consuming out of the energy of the battery. I can gain 30 kilometers of the range. This is really cool. So if you want to maximize your range and play with all these options, you can play, and it's easy. You know, you don't have to dig like really far away inside of the menu to get this. It's only a button away. On the charging time on a level 1 charger, it can take you up to 52 hours. On level 2, 11 hours. And on a level 3, if it's a 50 kilowatt charger, it's about 90 minutes. So from 20% to 80%. And 150 kilowatt is gonna take you half an hour. On this side, pretty normal numbers this week because I had multiple cars to test. I was able to recharge it on my normal level 1 outlet at home. I didn't have any issues this week for this. Obviously this week it's summertime, so we're into some ideal temperature to test, you know, an electric car. I really wish to test this EQS in some, you know, harsher winter condition to see how it affects the range and the actual recharge of this car. One cool feature also to help you to control your regen, it's those paddle shifter on the steering wheel. You've got a plus and a minus. It's not for shifting the gears because this car is an electric car, doesn't have any gears. So you can adjust your regen simply with those paddle shifters. So this is cool. Price wise, the EQS starts just over $146,000, and the model I'm testing this week just over $162,000. Obviously it's expensive, but this is really class S experience. You have to expect the price to come with, even if it sounds expensive, everything you've got, you know, the performance, the comfort, the technology, the material inside, just the experience, just the comfort alone, I think it's worth it. Overall, I really like my time with this EQS this week. It's so relaxing, it's so comfortable. It's by far the most comfortable car I drove this season, with that little pedal and all that. I wish I had this car to do all my road trips I did lately in the past weeks. It's so comfortable. It's almost, you know, at the point you can fall asleep. It's so relaxing. And, you know, this week I had 2 electric cars. I was, you know, testing this EQS and the BMW i4 M50. And the M50, it's really a sporty BMW who can compete with the M3 competition and all that. And even if it was a lot of fun to drive, it was so comfortable, so relaxing driving the EQS. It's so nice to be inside of this car. You know, every time I had to choose in between the Mercedes-Benz and the BMW, even if we're not able to compare those two, I would choose this amazing experience, that comfort and all that. And I'm the type of guy who really like the performance, you know, and the sharp handling and all that. But just being inside, relaxing, it's quiet, you've got that big power and all that. It's such a nice experience, and you know, I think it's really worth it, even if on paper it doesn't match the, you know, the range and the power of a Tesla. You know, the ride and the quality and the comfort and all that, you're not able to find something like that inside of a Tesla. And this is why, you know, I would probably choose this Mercedes-Benz before, you know, buying a Tesla. Just the experience inside of this car, it's just amazing. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this EQS? Do you like the design? And do you think it's worth the price? I would like to see your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And we're gonna see each other on my next review.